Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between lush mountains and flowing rivers, there lived a wise old monk named Koji. People from far and wide sought his teachings on mindfulness and inner peace. His words were like pearls of wisdom, and his presence exuded tranquility. One day, a troubled young villager approached Koji with a heavy heart. "Master," he said, "I cannot control my mind. My thoughts are like a turbulent river, pulling me in different directions. I am unable to find peace within myself." Koji smiled warmly and invited the young man to sit beside him. He handed the villager a cup of tea and said, "Let me share a story with you." Long ago, in a neighboring village, there was a farmer who owned a magnificent horse. One day, the horse escaped from its enclosure and ran away to the mountains. The villagers came to the farmer to console him, but he calmly said, "Maybe it's a blessing in disguise." The next day, to everyone's surprise, the horse returned with a wild and beautiful mare from the mountains. The villagers congratulated the farmer on his good fortune, but he humbly said, "Maybe it's a blessing in disguise." The farmer had a son who loved to ride the new mare. One day, while riding, he fell and broke his leg. The villagers gathered to express their sympathy, but the farmer remained composed and said, "Maybe it's a blessing in disguise." A few days later, a war broke out in the kingdom, and soldiers came to the village to recruit young men for the army. The farmer's son couldn't join due to his injury. The villagers rejoiced, saying, "You are so lucky. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise." The wise monk paused, and the young villager looked puzzled. "Master, I don't understand," he said. "What does this story have to do with controlling my mind?" Koji replied, "The farmer's story teaches us an essential lesson about the nature of our minds. Just like the farmer faced the ups and downs of life with equanimity, we too can learn to embrace the uncertainties of our minds with acceptance and patience. Our minds are like wild horses, full of energy and constantly moving. Trying to control them forcefully is like trying to tame a wild horse by sheer strength. But through gentle and persistent practice, we can cultivate mindfulness and find the space between our thoughts." He continued, "Observe your thoughts without judgment, like clouds passing through the sky. Embrace them, but do not let them define you. Understand that life's circumstances are often beyond our control, but how we respond to them is in our hands. Just as the farmer found blessings in seemingly challenging situations, we can find peace within ourselves amid the chaos." The young villager pondered on Koji's words and felt a sense of relief. From that day forth, he began to practice mindfulness and acceptance. With time and dedication, he discovered the serenity that lay within him, and his mind became like a calm lake, reflecting the beauty of the world around him. And so, under the guidance of the wise old monk, the villager learned to control his mind not by force, but by embracing its ever-changing nature with grace and understanding.